Welcome to Geography 160 Online. Thought you'd enjoy some stunning footage here of the American bald eagle taking flight. Phenomenal plumage or feathers and an incredible flight pattern, soaring through the sky. Here, almost grabbing that fish, just like you all will soar through this course, grab on to what you need, and then fly away. Let's flip over here to Canvas and check out our course shell. I imagine most of you are familiar with our college's Canvas system by now. It's very helpful for having us be able to learn from afar and asynchronously or at a different time. That is when you choose to do so. For the most part here, we have some general dates, specific dates for assignments, but you get to move through them when you can throughout the week. This course heavily relies upon your full participation and active engagement with the materials, with the mini lectures that I've put on here and the discussion boards that we'll have, as well as interacting with your fellow students in discussion boards, and as well as with the textbooks courseware package called Launchpad. And you can find that within the Macmillan tab here in our course shell. We'll flip over to that. That brings you to Launchpad at the top. That's the digital courseware, which is fully integrated into our Canvas. And that provides you with both the ebook, so that if you want, you can read straight from the book for each chapter if you select to not buy the paper book for the course, as well as a lot of other activities that we'll be doing within Launchpad, including, for instance, map builder exercises, questions that arise from them after you open up a map. So very convenient. Here you go. Well, here's while the map loads, and then we'll be able to see different layers on the map, and language, for instance, all sorts of different variables and fascinating information that can be portrayed and learned from these map activities. So that's one example, as well as our learning curve activities. So these are adaptive learning exercises where you can go through and answer questions from the text, and that's part of your homework for each week. And actually more frequently than each week, we will have one of those for each chapter. This brings us to an important point for this course. We're taking a 16-week course and condensing it into 6 weeks. So I don't want to intimidate any of you. I have confidence in all of your ability, but this is a serious investment of your time and resources for the next 6 weeks, and it will be considerably challenging compared to a full-length course. You can think of it in terms of not only condensing 16 weeks into 6, but if you had 2 classes a week for 16 weeks, that's fitting 32 classes into 6 weeks. If you start doing the math, that's a lot of classes per week. I've condensed this into the equivalent of taking 2 full classes a week and then some extra additional classes 4 days out of the 6 weeks. We'll get down to that in a little bit here on the course flow, which goes through modules within Canvas, as I'm sure you've seen in some of your other courses. To start off this week, tomorrow, Monday, you will first proceed through a mandatory orientation to taking an online course. It's pretty smooth and straightforward. And then we'll dive into Class 1, Introductions and Inroads, where we'll do our first discussion board and talk about the what are our expectations for the course and what we'd like to get out of it. By Wednesday, we'll start on the first chapter and second class, so exploring geography. So that's class 2. And then class 3 isn't a full class on Friday, but this is where I explain the midterm exam for you, to be upfront and transparent about how you will be graded on the course. Unlike other courses, perhaps where you take a sit-down exam, the midterm and the final for this course are given to you right from the start of the unit. So here's Unit 1 essay exam discussion, and this talks about the criteria and guidelines for the exam, the overview, and then here are your 5 essay prompts that you'll be writing a short essay on each one of those. And we'll get back to that later on Friday. So understand for now that on Monday and Wednesday of each week, there are, sorry to keep scrolling around for you here, I just wanted to cue this up. For instance, Wednesday of this week, after doing on Monday the discussion board, and by tomorrow the orientation review mini assignment, tomorrow being June 18th, we will start on 2 discussion boards for class 2. First one being due by Wednesday night. You can see the link to Launchpad right included here for you. And we'll pull up an example of a mini board discussion board, mini lecture discussion board. They say, after reading the chapter, watching the lecture, and taking notes on both, please post a non-hypothetical question you have by Wednesday night in the discussion board below. So you can reply right down there, and you can see other students' questions that they will have, and I'll respond to those. Then it directs you to respond to my question by Friday night. That's for 10 points as well. And then read all of my responses and reply to at least 2 of your classmates or myself by Wednesday at 8 p.m. And that's what we'll do twice a week, since we're fitting in a whole semester's worth of classes. That's the first discussion board for each class. And to go back here, then there's also one other discussion board, which follows on the subsequent day of each one of these classes. And so, for instance, on this Thursday, we'll discuss this as well. And similarly, you post your perspectives by Thursday night, and then read and reply to others by Sunday night. So those are the that's the gist of the different types of assignments for the course. You can see you can link to some of those chapter 1, in this case, map builder exercises. All of the Launchpad assignments are due by the main class day, that being Monday and Wednesdays. This class 1 doesn't have them because we're going through the orientation. But from then on out, for instance, Monday, June 24th, the second discussion board on Tuesday, June 25th, but all the Launchpad learning curves and map builders are due on that Monday night by 8 p.m. as well. Some of those are the system set it for midnight, so that's fine. And then likewise on Wednesday, June 26th, we'll have our class on Middle and South America, and the Launchpad activities due by that Wednesday as well. So I hope this gives you a good insight into our general course flow. I've sent you the syllabus in your email as well. It's also within the course orientation here. And we'll pull that up real quick. I just download it instead of looking at it. That's all right. And here we have the overall course syllabus. Student learning outcomes describe various regions of the world based on physical, economic, and cultural characteristics. We get to analyze physical and cultural factors behind economic diversities, analyze and transform, analyze the transformation of the cultural landscape of the U.S., and interpret information about spatial features and relationships through maps. We've gotten a little bit of an insight how we'll be doing that most directly with the Launchpad activities as far as adaptive learning. And then the rest of the syllabus goes on to describe the assignments, the discussion boards, the exams, criteria for the exams, and our course grades, grading scheme, academic honesty and student conduct, campus resources, and all this information as well as in other aspects of the syllabus and or of the course and orientation. So we'll end with leaving you with more of the bald eagles here. Let's see where they go from here, and looking forward to interacting with you in the discussion boards and getting to know each other and learning. It's a phenomenal opportunity to get to study about the world. It was my geography courses 18 years ago that inspired me to go on and major in geography, travel around the world. You'll read a little bit about that in my bio in the orientation, as well as pursue geography and environmental studies in my graduate work. And yeah, now teach at Contra Costa over the last 4 years. It's a true honor, and I greatly appreciate being able to teach you and learn from you. So with that, I'll talk to you soon. Okay, take care.